Transformation Tuesday. Hello, it's Deanne Joy here. How are you? Happy Transformation Tuesday. I'm super excited. And this is also the first time that I'm using the horizontal video. Who knew? There you go. Hey, it's Transformation Tuesday, and while folks are jumping on here, I am going to go ahead and share this out. I hope all is going well. We just ended another 6-day long weekend, 2 snow days on either end of that weekend. So that's always fun. So here's the deal. For Transformation Tuesday live training day today, I decided to scour the archives of some of the messages in my group. I'm going to turn this up so that my light is not reflecting on my glasses here. I don't know if that's going to work or not. Anyway, let me put it up a little bit more. So anyway, I decided to scour the archives for comments and discussion in my group, in my Choose Joy group, because I've recently been asking for their feedback about what kinds of topics would be of interest to them, and that's usually how I go about getting my my topics for. Oh, I just realized something. Hello. Ha! What do you know? Well, that's probably helpful. So I have no idea whether the audio was just picking up on all of that or not. So here's the deal. Happy Transformation Tuesday. If you're coming on, that's good because I'm just getting it together here. Here's what I decided to talk about today as inspired by a comment in my Choose Joy group. And if you're a woman in midlife, whatever you consider that to be, and if you're not in my Choose Joy community, you want to be in there. It's my private community. Where to start with making changes when you don't have a clue where to start. 5 simple action steps. So I'll share the comment that someone made and where the inspiration for that came from. Okay, so while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and share this out. Sure. All right. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I thought that would be fun. Sharing to my timeline. Transformation Tuesday. I don't know if y'all sing song. I sing song all the time. Live training now. All right, cool. So here's the comment. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and share this out to my group first while I'm doing that. I just noticed that I was like totally looking down with my my specs. I forgot that I have progressives that are actually my prescription now, so I don't have to look down anymore like that. Okay, I'm sharing this out to my Choose Joy group here. Oh, the joys of over 40, right? Okay, cool. All right, so here is the, so as you're jumping on, please say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you are catching the replay, type in hashtag replay so that I can find you and say hello. I always go back and look at the comments and look at who's catching the replays and everything. So anyway, here is the comment that one of the members of my private Choose Joy community made that inspired me to do this as a topic, because I think that a lot of us, especially women in midlife, can really resonate with this idea. And the comment was, I feel like I've been searching for peace and serenity all my life. I've had fleeting moments of it, but discord and negativity, mine and others, keep it so elusive. It's a constant struggle and I'm tired. I want to learn how to attract more positive into my life. So, hey, Miss Suzette, how are you? So anyway, that was the comment that sort of inspired this. And I had an entire thread in my group where I was asking for feedback about what kinds of topics in midlife would be of interest to them. And one of the things that was a common thread in all of those comments was exactly this, was that feeling that I've been searching for this peace and serenity my whole life, and I've had these fleeting moments of it, but somehow I don't seem to be able to quite hang on to it. This other influences, whether my own or other people's, other negative influences get in the way of that. And I really want to learn how to attract more positive into my life more consistently. How I want to be able to get what I want in my life more consistently. So that's definitely was a theme. And I think that's something that a lot of us, really struggle with. And, one of the topics of conversation in that, hey Dorothy, thanks for jumping on, was I could use all of that. I kind of gave a list of, topics like what would interest you. And it's kind of like, I could use all of that. Yes, please. And it's kind of like, the comment was, I need all of that, but I don't know where to start. Like, I want to make changes in my life. I know that there are some things that need to change, some things I've been wanting to change for a while, but I don't have a clue where to begin, where to start, right? So if that's something that you can relate to, if there are changes that you've been wanting to make in your life, whatever that is, whether that is, interpersonal changes, whether that is habits that you've been wanting to change, career changes, relationship changes, whatever, if that's something that you've been wanting to do, I want you to say yes, or give me a like or hearts or thumbs up or something to let me know. Yeah, I can relate to that. Like, wanting to work toward this thing, yet not knowing exactly how to get there, right? I think that's something that we all, can struggle with from time to time. So that's why I wanted to talk today about some really simple action steps, right? So 5 simple action steps, that you can take to get started with making changes when you don't have a clue where to start with making changes, right? There's something that you want to change. Obviously, the first thing is deciding to make a change, right? Recognizing that there is something that needs to be changed. So I'm going to give you 5 really simple things, right? That you can do starting today to begin to make changes that you've been wanting to make in your life, but haven't had a clue where to start. If that's a conversation you've had in your mind, I want you to type yes. If you've ever said that to yourself, I want to do this, but I don't have a clue where to start, type in yes, right? So here's where I want you to start. Number 1 is choose responsibility. And what I mean by that is choose to be 100% responsible. So if I look like I'm looking away, it's because I'm not used to the camera being horizontal. I'm used to it being vertical. And so I'm used to the camera being somewhere else. So I have to shift where I'm looking. So Suzette says yes. Dorothy says, yes, there are changes I want to make, but not sure where to get started and how to take that leap to get started. I get that, and I can appreciate that, Dorothy, and thank you guys for jumping in. So here's the thing. The very first step is, and I know this is, very simple to say. These are very easy steps. It doesn't mean that they're very simple steps. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're always easy, right? But number 1 is be responsible. Choose a place of responsibility. And what I mean by that is choose to be 100% responsible for the results that you're creating in your life. 100% responsible. That means that if there is something that you've wanted to make a change with, if there's something that you've been wanting to do, now is the time to take 100% responsibility for making that thing happen. Right now is the time to stop with shifting the focus, or to start shifting the focus away from all of the extraneous stuff, the excuses that get in the way, the really sexy excuses, because let's face it, we can come up with really sexy ones, right? So number 1 is take responsibility. Choose 100% responsibility for the results that you're getting in your life. If things are not going the way that you want them to go, take responsibility for making that change. If you've been wanting to do something but haven't been able to pull the trigger or haven't been able to make that leap, leap. Be willing to take responsibility for either making the leap or not making the leap. Either taking the decision or not taking the decision, but be willing to own that 100% and know that that's your choice, right? There might be all kinds of other factors that get in the way, yet the bottom line is it's still a choice, whether you let those other factors get in the way of what it is that you say you want to create in your life, right? So choose responsibility, and I don't mean that from a perspective of blame. I don't mean like it's my fault kind of thing. What I mean by that is, oh, so that happened. How is it that I created that? Or if this is something that is going a certain way in my life and I'm not happy with how it looks, I can either choose to stay complacent and stay in it, right? Or I can choose to do something different. That's being responsible, right? Dorothy says it's also easy to convince ourselves to settle for the status quo. Exactly. Yeah, and really, is that necessarily, and thanks for your comment, Dorothy, is that necessarily settling for the status quo, or is it settling for less than what you deserve and are capable of? That's really the question. What is it that you're settling for? Because I get that you're acknowledging that you're settling and that it's easy to convince yourself of that. But is if we're really honest with ourselves, is it really settling for the status quo, or is it settling for less than I deserve and am capable of, right? Because 100% responsibility, choosing responsibility means owning that I am capable, right? And it means that if I choose not to do something, it's not because I'm not capable. It's because I'm choosing not to do it. I'm choosing to allow other things to get in the way of that. I'm choosing other things to be a priority. And it's not that that's a bad thing. It's just that being responsible also means saying I'm capable of making a choice. I'm capable of having more and doing more and being more than what I currently have. I'm capable of doing that. Dorothy said, good point. Sometimes I have those. So that's number one, choose responsibility, right? And again, that's not from a place of blaming. It's simply from a place of owning, the circumstances that are showing up in your life right now, the results that you're getting in your life, 100%. And that means that there are always excuses. There are always things that can come up. There are always reasons for not getting the results that you want to have in your life. Choosing 100% responsibility is choosing not to use those excuses. It's simply choosing to own either you did or you didn't. Either you did it or you didn't. Either you chose in or you didn't choose in. And either one is okay. Just own it and be responsible for it. And don't put the blame on other people or the responsibility on others. Right? So, second action step. This is an easy one. And it's also something that sometimes you have to train yourself to do if you're not accustomed to it. And that is having a practice of gratitude. Gratitude is probably the simplest yet most undervalued tool for attracting abundance and attracting positivity. Is looking at and choosing to sort through the noise and the extraneous stuff to look for, what do I have to be grateful for today? What is it that's going well today? Who is it that I'm grateful that is showing up in my life today in a positive way, And counteracting, the naysayers or the, negative Nellies or the not so positive interactions or the guy cutting you off in traffic or whatever it might be. And still choosing to sort through all of that and look for what it is that you have to be grateful for in your life. It completely shifts your perspective and the lens through which you see the world. It is incredibly powerful. So it's one thing I challenge you to do on a daily basis. And you don't necessarily have to write it down, although there's something that's very powerful about this, the physical act of writing that literally rewires the brain. It creates new neural networks in the brain, new neural pathways. So it is powerful to actually physically write a gratitude journal. However, if that's something that's too much for you to commit to, at least when you wake up in the morning and before you go to bed at night, Desiree said, gratitude has been transformational for me, right? It really is. It is, I think, the single most powerful thing to really transform the way that you look at the world, being 100% responsible and gratitude, like if you can get those two things and see the world through a lens of what it is that I have to be grateful for, because then what happens is all of a sudden you put yourself into a perspective of, I just felt myself settle in. Like I just felt like I got my rhythm there for a second. I've got some good stuff coming. But it means that you get into a mindset of seeing life as happening for you rather than as happening to you, right? Even something like a snowstorm, stranding you somewhere, as we just, were the other day on Sunday, got stranded staying somewhere out of town. It turned out to be a blessing, right? So it puts you in the driver's seat of life. It allows you to see life as happening for me rather than happening to me. And gratitude just allows you to see it's as though the negative stuff, the darkness, the negative people in your life, the news, whatever it might be, it's as though those things just sort of filter out when you have a lens of gratitude. Because what you will find is that when you start to have a practice of gratitude, of being consciously looking for what you have to be grateful for, what do you like about yourself, what's going well in your life, what is it that you have to be proud of, what's working for you right now. And some days that might be just for having clean underwear. And that's okay. If that's all you got some days, that's all you got, but be grateful for having clean underwear, because not having them is even worse, right? So if you can get in that mindset of starting and ending your day in gratitude and just listing 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for, and try to go beyond the surface, beyond the obvious, clean underwear. But when you get beyond the surface, you start to get to deeper level stuff. But it really does allow you to see the world through an entirely different lens when you get that mindset and it becomes ingrained and it becomes unconscious, so that you do it without even thinking. It really shifts how you see the entire world around you. All right, so number 3, number 1 was choose to be 100% responsible for your life and your results. Number 2 is gratitude. 3 is vision. You've got to have a vision for your life, right? Now, this is perhaps not the, this one is the one that perhaps involves a little bit more. The other action steps are really quite simple and easy, but having a vision for your life is really just about, where do you see yourself 6 months from now? Where do you see yourself a year from now? And literally stepping into that and seeing it as though you are there right now, seeing it through your own eyes, hearing the sounds around you, feeling the feelings of being right there in that place that is your perfect vision of where it is that you see yourself, where you want to be 6 months or 12 months or whatever it is, a year from now or whatever it is. Stepping into that, one of the things that I have gotten back into recently is doing a bit of a more structured but much more committed daily mindset practice. And I'll talk about that in a second, but I think that's something that is absolutely crucial, is having a daily mindset practice where you work on implementing these things, where you work on stepping into your vision every day, where you list 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for in the morning and at night, where you choose to be responsible, you choose to be intentional about your life, right? Where you choose to take action steps, you choose your mindset. It's important to have an intention about your day. So having a vision really is just about stepping into your goal, stepping into where it is that you want to be. But what is powerful, because I've recently, part of what my practice has been, thanks to a coach I've been working with by the name of Katya McEwen, I have been stepping into that vision every single day. And what I found is, holy cow, what is so powerful about it is, if you imagine a rubber band, I don't have one here, but if you imagine a rubber band around your hands, right, stretched between here, which is where you are, and here, which is where you want to be, right? If you imagine a rubber band stretched there, it's as though it, boom, propels you forward toward that goal, right? It's It's that powerful. When you step into that vision and you see yourself as though you're there right now, you can't not take steps in the movement in the direction of that vision. Does that make sense? So when you see yourself there and you're stepping into it every day, you can't not be in alignment, because you're sort of asking yourself, who is it that I need to be today in order to have that vision that I want? And you're implanting it, you're imprinting it rather in your subconscious, and you can't not take steps in that direction. Does that make sense? If you're picking up what I'm putting down here, give me some likes or give me some hearts. Let me know you're catching what I'm putting out here. So stepping into your vision is just getting clear, and the I think the best way to do that, again, there's something very powerful about the visceral act of physically writing. And so getting a journal, writing out your vision, where you are, getting really detailed about it, seeing the home that you're surrounded by, the person you wake up with, the things you're surrounded by, how you go about your work day, what it is that you're doing, kind of start to finish, a day in the life. What is your vision? And then step into that every single day. And if you don't have time to do all of that, then at least in your mind, fast forward to a year from now, you'll continue to refine what that vision is. But fast forward in your mind to where you see yourself a year from now. And step into that vision just in your mind. Step into it every single day. Right? So that might take a minute to write that out the first time. However, stepping into it every day takes, a matter of, 60 seconds. Okay? But the important thing is when you step into it, to get all the feels, to really crank up the feelings and feel as though you are there right now at this moment. You're seeing it through your eyes. You're hearing the sounds around you. You're feeling the feelings of being there, and you're noticing what you say to yourself in your own mind, standing there in that vision that you have for yourself. Okay, so that's the key with vision work. All right, so number four action step is take action. Right? 5 simple steps to get started with making changes when you don't have a clue to where to start. Number 4 is just damn start. Here's the bottom line. You just got to choose and move sometimes. You've got to take a step. It doesn't have to be the end step. What I always work with my clients on, and what I do for myself, is if I've got an end goal in mind, and it's a goal that's this big, right? My mind can't wrap its head around what I need to do to get to there because it's too big, right? So instead what I do is I chunk it down to smaller bite-sized steps, right? So what needs to happen before that? Well, what's the step that needs to happen before that? What do I need to do in order to get myself there? What's the step that needs to happen before that? I just reverse engineer it until I get all the way back to, well, what's the first step? All I've got to do is take one baby step in that direction. When you take that step, as opposed to just thinking about it and thinking that it sounds like a good idea and continuing to say, I'm going to do it one day. I've been intending to do it. I just haven't taken the leap yet, right? Just haven't pulled the trigger yet, whatever it is that you say to yourself. It's simply choosing to do that. It's choosing to simply take an action step in that direction. It's simply choosing to put one foot in front of the other. And, if the thing that is holding you back is, like, let's say the goal is you want to go on a vacation somewhere. Then, what's one action step that you can take today? Well, one action step you can take today is just to simply do some research online. Look for some destinations that you want to go to. So it doesn't have to be anything earth-shattering. It doesn't have to be huge. It just means one baby step in the direction of your goal. When you step into that vision and you take inspired action, you simply take one step in front of the other. Just what's the one next baby step that I need to take, right? And then choose and move. And that's where being responsible comes into play, because then it's just about, you can find all the sexy excuses in the world, because there ain't nobody going to be lighting a fire under your butt to get you going. So you can find all the sexy excuses in the world. But the bottom line is that's not going to change your tomorrow. All of the excuses, even as great as they are, as busy as you are, as demanding as your job is, as demanding as your family is, as unsupportive as your spouse is, whatever it is, those excuses are not going to change your tomorrow. What is going to change your tomorrow is your mindset and your actions. It's taking action in that direction. If you are unhappy in a career, take steps to change it. Take steps to either look for something different or address whatever the issue is. Start challenging, whether it's serving you to stay where you are. And if it's not, then my invitation to you would be to choose and move. If you've been wanting to enroll in a program, as I know a few of you have been, because I know you've talked to me about it, you've been wanting to enroll in a program that would support you in moving forward in your vision and in the goals that you have for your life, in moving forward. Because really, truly, when we talk about not knowing what our purpose is, that's another thing that I hear a lot, not knowing what our purpose is. Here's what our purpose is in life, you guys. Our purpose is to become our highest and greatest self. That is what our one true purpose is in life, to evolve into our highest and greatest self. So the only question that you need to ask yourself about whether you're living your purpose is, are you actively, doing the work to evolve into your highest and greatest self? And if the answer is yes, then you are living your life's purpose. How that manifests in the physical world will fall into place. The gift that you are meant to share, how that looks, will fall into place, right? That will happen as long as you are committed to doing the work to be your highest and greatest self. So where I was getting to that with was, if you've been looking at a coaching program that you've been saying, I really want to do that. I really want to do that. There are some things that I know I need to work on in my life, some changes that I really want to make, haven't been able to make them on my own. And I've been thinking about it. One thing in front of the other gets in the way, right? That's where choose and move comes in. That's where just simply choosing to be responsible for the results in your life comes in. Because either you choose it or you don't, right? But the sexy excuses don't change your tomorrow. The sexy excuses don't change your tomorrow. They just simply put off until tomorrow what you could handle today. And of course, I would add a bonus mindset, simple step to start with making changes when you really want to make changes. Well, I haven't even gotten to number 5 yet, but I'm going to add a bonus one anyway, which is to get in alignment with what your gift is. To get in alignment with what your vision is and what your passion is and what it is that you are meant to do on this planet. And the fact that you, in fact, are meant to share a gift on this planet. If you're here and you're listening to this, or if you're breathing, then you have a gift to share on this planet. You have a purpose to share on this planet, right? All right, so take action, whatever that is, no matter how small the baby step. Take action every single day in the direction of whatever that change is that you've been wanting to make. One action step. If that means changing what you eat for breakfast, if that means drinking an extra cup of water tomorrow, or if it means getting up off your, couch and going to the gym, that's the point where choosing to be responsible for what you say you want to create comes in. Because at that point, you've got to just simply make a choice at some point to say, you know what, I made this commitment to myself. I said this is something I want. Now I need to take the action step to just do it, right? I've just got to do it. So let's get up off the couch and let's go do it, okay? So whatever small the action steps are, take baby steps. Take one step in the direction of that goal or that change you've been wanting to make. And here's number 5, and this is probably the most important. They're all super important. But number 5, simple step is having a daily mindset practice, right? And what I mean by that is, I've already talked about, having a gratitude practice, stepping into your vision every day, and choosing to come from a place of responsible, where the life is happening for me rather than happening to me. Where I come from, not from a place of being a victim, right? So a daily mindset practice is all of those things, and it's the constant challenging of those gremlins, right? It's the constant challenging of the gremlins that come up that keep us stuck. What is it that keeps you stuck in not pulling the trigger or not taking the leap? You've been wanting to, thinking to, meaning to make these changes, wanting to take that leap, but you haven't done it yet. Well, what is it that's keeping you from doing that? Chances are it's some sort of a gremlin, right? It's some sort of a mindset thing that needs to be shifted, whether it's an excuse, whether it's a belief that I'm not capable or I'm not good enough, right? So it's challenging those gremlins, challenging those beliefs that come up every day as they come up. That's how you start to make changes, is you start taking action steps every single day. And so when you see those beliefs coming up, when you see a pattern in them, you work to change that belief when you see it come up, right? So if the belief is, I don't have the time, or I can't afford it, right? Those are two biggest excuses that we as humans make, are don't have the time and don't have the money, right? So, a daily mindset practice would be challenging that belief mindset, First of all, when you focus on a mentality of lack, what you're going to get reflected back to you is lack, right? So that's not helpful. But having a daily mindset practice is about shifting those perspectives, shifting those beliefs throughout the day as you come up against them. So actively changing your beliefs by actively practicing gratitude and stepping into your vision and taking baby steps, challenging those beliefs when they come up. So for instance, one of the things that is a strategy that I learned recently in a coaching program that I did with Katya, who I mentioned earlier, it's called My Mind Says, and it's a way of kind of training our brains, shifting beliefs into more positive beliefs. And so it's taking that negative belief, whatever it is, my mind says, I can't afford it. Yet I say, and you list 3 things to counter that belief, right? 3 things to shift that belief into a positive mindset belief, or a positive mindset shift, right? So from I can't afford it, because again, when you focus on lack, you will get more lack, to, I can afford it and I can choose to find the money, I can find the money if I choose to. Or there's a limited, amount of, money circulating on the planet, and, it's just as available to me as everyone else. Or, rather than I can't afford it, I choose to invest, my funds elsewhere right now, whatever those things are. So it's shifting those beliefs. That's the daily mindset practice that I'm talking about. Those are things that take some practice. That's why it's called a mindset practice, right? When you think of practice, what do you think of? Maybe you think of a coach. A coach is someone who teaches you the fundamentals, right? Either, a coach or a teacher or instructor, right? They're teaching you the fundamentals of the sport or the instrument or, whatever it is. And then you practice and become better and better at it and more refined at it, right? To where you're doing it more independently, right? So, and that's how it becomes more ingrained in the subconscious, and then you don't think about it consciously, and you start to build on that unconscious learning. It's the same thing with mindset practice. Is if you need some help with learning the fundamentals so that you can implement a practice, then take steps to learn those fundamentals, right? I give you tons of resources, for free. Here, and there are lots of places that you can find, free resources on belief change or mindset or journaling practices or gratitude practice, right? There are lots of places that you can find that information, right? So it's just a matter of choosing to make that change, right? So one of the things that I would challenge you to, that I would invite you to consider, when there is a change that you've been wanting to make that you continue to get hung up on, whether it's, making this change is selfish, or I don't believe that I'm capable, or I can't afford it, or I don't have the time, or, I'm not ready to take that leap yet, whatever it might be, in whatever context. If there's something that you've been wanting to do and you haven't been doing it, or if there is a habit that you have been doing that you want to change, right? Something that's no longer serving you, and you've been resisting changing it, what I want you to ask yourself, not from a place of judgment, but genuinely ask yourself is, what is it getting for me to hang on to that? What is it getting for me? How is it serving me to hang on to that or to not make that change? To hang on to that negative belief or to hang on to that old habit. What is it getting for you? Because I promise you that it's getting you something, or you wouldn't continue to do it. And so, again, that's a little bit of that choosing responsible, and being really honest with yourself and really looking at, okay, what does it get for me? It gets me an easy out. It gets me, I don't have to really show up powerfully for my life. I don't have to, right the wrongs that I've done, ask forgiveness for the things that I've done. It means that, I can continue to shrink from my greatness and stay in my safety, zone. All of those things, right? So it's getting something for you. What is it that it's getting for you to stay there? And if you continue down that path, where will you be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months from now? And the last question that I want you to ask from yourself is from the perspective of today is all we've got, right? Tomorrow isn't promised. And so if today is all that you've got, if today is your only chance, then why would you wait to do anything that you have wanted to do in your life? If today is all that you get, all that you know that you've got, why would you wait to do anything you've wanted to do in your life? So I want to invite you to, and part of having success with taking action, with really taking on a goal that you've been wanting to achieve or the changes that you've been wanting to make, is having accountability, right? It's a powerful thing. And in our group, I always encourage you guys in the Choose Joy community to speak your wins and speak your goals, because there is something about putting them out to the universe that gives them momentum, that gives them weight, right? That sets the intention when you put it out there. And so, having that accountability and having people come back and say, hey, remember you said you were going to do this? Where's that at? How's that going for you? Where are you showing up with that? Having that accountability on a daily basis is really powerful, whether that's through an accountability partner, whether that's through a coach or a mentor or a counselor or, spiritual advisor, whomever it might be. That accountability is really crucial to maintaining those changes. So those are some simple action steps that you can start to take when you don't have a clue where to start with making some changes that you're wanting to make, right? But here's the bottom line. Bottom line is, at some point you just got to choose it, right? At some point you just got to choose it, and you got to go, okay, enough. I've been saying that I've been wanting to do this. It's time for me to choose. Choose and move. Take one step in that direction. You don't have to tackle it all at one time, but take one step in that direction, right? If you want to learn more about how you can implement these action steps and some of the other mindset hacks, like my mind says that I just shared with you, some of the other mindset hacks, I want to invite you to consider setting up scheduling a complimentary coaching session so that you can actually experience some of these things and begin to recognize how you can actually implement them in your own life and apply them in your own life, so that you can start making changes today to living the life that you want, because what we know is that tomorrow just isn't promised, right? Life can change on a dime. So don't put off until tomorrow. Don't put off until tomorrow. What does Picasso say? Don't put off something unless you are willing to die having left it undone. Something like that. So there you go. There's your moment of Picasso for the day. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings to you. Let me know your take on this and your feedback. Please feel free to share. And if you're not already in my Choose Joy community, hop on over there. There's a link at the top of the page. I'll put a link in here as well. If you're a woman in midlife, I invite you to come and join. It's a supportive sisterhood, a community where we've got free training and coaching and just a lot of fellowship going on, and it's all good things. So, all right, take care, y'all. If you're interested in scheduling a complimentary coaching session, I will also put the link to do that in here. All right, take care. Peace and blessings.